Hi everyone, Felicia here. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I wanted to talk on my video blog about living a healthy, happy, and balanced life. Now, what does that mean? To be happy and to be healthy and to be balanced. Now, I know we all strive to be healthy, right? But are we happy? And are we balanced in our life in order to be healthy? So I've been having a lot of conversations with my clients lately about balance and balance with food and workouts and overall health. And this is something that I've been working on for quite a while, even before I started competing. I was a trainer far before I was a competitor. And so for me, I've had this question presented to me many times, and it's something that I've dealt with as well for a lot of my life. And I feel like many people battle with balance and making time for it all. Now, I do feel that balance is not necessarily about time management, because most of us are trying to maneuver time with family, with friends, social, career, kids, husband, all of that. I don't think it's necessarily about the time management, but more about boundary management. Okay, and that's boundaries with yourself, and boundaries with people, and boundaries with our minds. Okay, so balance to me means making choices in life and being okay with those choices and enjoying those choices. What I mean by that is, you want some pizza on a Friday night, well, go and have some pizza. You want to live, but do not spend the rest of the weekend and into the week feeling guilty about eating the pizza. That's not what balance is, okay? And who wants to live a life full of shame and guilt, right? We can't live in this state of guilt and shame by the choices that we make. So I think being aware of our actions and understanding them is far better than hating ourselves or being angry with ourselves for doing those things, missing a workout, eating a cookie. We don't want to live that way, okay? So I sort of was looking at some of the bad food habits that are very common, common issues, and I've come up with 5. Number 1, I'm guilty of this, is binging. Okay, binging is one of the worst things you can do. I've been having this conversation a lot lately. If you want a cookie, awesome, have a cookie. Do not have the whole dozen cookies. Okay, that is the worst thing that you can do, because it leads to this vicious cycle of binging and extreme dieting, and binging, extreme dieting, and in the end, you're going to find yourself heavy, depressed, those anxious feelings, guilty feelings, and we don't want to do that. Number 2 is eating out of boredom. Okay, so you have to be self-aware and recognize, am I eating because I'm hungry, or am I eating because I just need to be, putting eating something or putting something in my mouth or chewing something? Like, what is it? Are you really hungry, or are you just eating out of boredom? Okay, so really recognizing and being aware of that will also help. Number 3 is the routine eating, even when you're not hungry. Okay, so for example, you get home from work, and you start snacking on foods before dinner. Are you doing this because it's a habit for you to come home and start eating? Is it hard for you to wait till dinner? Snacking when you're bored, eating a midnight snack, or those sorts of things, being at your desk and grabbing handfuls of M&Ms all day, these little habits. So eating even when you're not hungry. So I think we have to really recognize our hunger levels, and is it truly we're hungry, or is it something else? Number 4, it's making social bad decisions. So I understand you're going to have weddings, you're going to have birthdays, and you're going to have these awesome events and special events, and that's all great. But you have to recognize making those bad choices. All those events add up, So if you have these goals and you want to hit these goals, you have to stay consistent and routine with what your goals are, So definitely go out, be social, have fun, but also always be aware of what your goals might be, and that your health is far more important. For me, when I was competing, I would avoid social situations, because I wasn't strong enough. And I was like, why did I do that to myself? I made the experience harder than it had to be, versus just enjoying people and enjoying the company that I was with and not being consumed by food. And number 5 is using food as a stress reliever. the more we do this, the more that we're going to tie food in with good feelings, with negative feelings, with all of these things. And we want to kind of create a disconnect with that, right? So we don't want to use food as a reward or use food as a stress reliever. I had a bad day, I deserve this. Well, why? It's food. So we need to have these awesome relationships with food versus using food for other things. So just becoming aware of your habits and downfalls will allow you to start working on those actions and start working on the things that you might struggle with. The worst thing that you can do is feel shame and guilt. No one wants to live that way. I don't want to live that way, and I hope that you don't want to live that way either. We don't want to live a life feeling shame and guilt because we had a slice of pizza. So I want to educate my clients and to know that once our mind is satisfied, then we'll stop our self-sabotage and stop the sabotaging of our weight loss efforts and fat loss efforts. I chatted with a client recently, and she was worried that her and her husband were revolving around food. She was tired of food prep. She had kind of gotten off track because of vacations and, life and social events and stuff like that. And, I told her, first thing I told her was, you must look at your health as a lifelong goal. It's not something that's short term. So the food prep might get monogamous, but it's far more, I think, for me, beneficial to know what I'm putting in my body than not. And I don't want to be stuck somewhere being hungry, So I said, change your attitude on it. Don't look at it as what you have to do. Look at it as like, I may have the choice. I have the choice of what I can cook and what I can put in my body. And that's great. It's great to have a choice. So again, it's a lifestyle. You must live in a way that's conducive to your life and your way of life. There are many options out there, but if you're not prepared, you must be committed to making those choices when faced with situations. So the key is, remember that balance is the mind, okay? And making a choice and enjoying it and being happy with that choice. So this is your life, and you're the only one that can control it, right? So you have to take that control back. Okay, so happy training. Thank you so much for watching my video. The 5 food, issues that I see is the binging, the eating when bored, eating in social situations, the routine of eating, using food as a stress reliever. Stop. Okay, be self-aware and make a conscious effort to be better and do better. Okay, so thank you so much, and I will talk to you next time.